Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
I think we still need your screen to come up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good now.
Okay, that's great. First of all, thanks, Mike. And hi, everyone. Good evening. Okay, give me a moment. Are you seeing my presentation screen or?
It's just refreshing the screen. So we see your like speaker notes bit. I think you need to flip the display settings.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Just a minute. Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yeah.
So I think you need to flip your display settings because we see your slide notes.
Okay.
So, Srini, can you just change the screen on the sharing tab within the webinar window?
Okay.
Can you just open the webinar tool?
Or you can go to the display settings menu in PowerPoint and just flip it so it changes what screen PowerPoint displays on.
Srini, can you please open the webinar tool on your taskbar?
Yeah. Okay. Can you see now, Arun?
I think it's on the second tab. Are you seeing the webinar tool on your second screen, second monitor?
Yes, I'm seeing the webinar tool on the second monitor now.
Okay, on the second monitor, can you just expand the sharing tab?
Yeah.
And you see the show screen button, right?
Yes.
It's a kind of drop down. You select the screen drop down and select the appropriate monitor to display.
Yeah. Screen. Okay. I just said, yeah. Can you see the presentation now?
Yeah. It's still in your notes section.
Wait, second.
Point, yeah.
Second, going back to the, okay. Let me remove my monitor. So let me, you just use the laptop.
Srini, if on the screen that you see now, so we see your notes screen in PowerPoint. You see just above your mouse, there's the display settings menu, which you clicked it before. Yep. You click that menu, and then if you click the swap presenter slideshow.
The first option, yes.
Yeah, if you do that, that should flip the screen.
It's disabled somehow.
Okay.
Okay, I'll run it again now. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Is it all right now? Okay. Okay. So the initial technical glitch. Hi everyone. Good evening again. Today's topic is business activity tracking and monitoring in logic apps. I'm from the biztalk background, and I presume that most of us are here from the biztalk background. And for us, the business activity monitoring, the tracking data, and the performance counters are pretty much integral and very important part of the solutions we would have implemented so far. Since the story is stretching towards the cloud now, and in the era of this hybrid integrations, it is very important that we know that the logic app has got similar capabilities, and if it has got capabilities, how we are going to use it. So that's what I really was interested, and that's why I chose this topic, business activity tracking and monitoring in logic apps. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Srinivasa Mahendrakar. I'm an integration consultant with more than 12 years of experience in implementing integration solutions using biztalk. Currently living in UK and working with biztalk 360 for more than a year now as a technical lead. You can reach me with the contact details provided on the screen. So with this brief introduction, let's get into the agenda for today. Today we basically trying to understand how we can track the business data, and for that we need to understand clearly what all the options we have to track the data in the logic apps. So before even we look into that, we kind of need to understand how the Azure as a platform provides us the option to monitor various kinds of data. I already told you from the biztalk world, we have performance counters, we have track data, and on top of that we have business activity BAM and the activities that we track from our business. So how all these similar concepts or the similar options available in the biztalk as a cloud platform itself is what we need to understand first. We'll briefly spend 5 minutes on understanding that, and then we'll see how the logic apps align with all these capabilities of the Azure platform, and in that we'll see what are activity logs, what are metrics and alerts, and what are the diagnostic logs. And we'll not be spending too much of time on all these things. We'll quickly, it's just a theory, and we quickly move on to the demos. There are 3 demos lined up for today. So the first thing is I have a order processing logic app, and I will take the from the logic app, I will be tracking the various data, and I'm enabling the diagnostic logs, and I will be viewing, sending it to the log analytics and viewing the various reports in the OMS portal. So that's going to be my first demo. And then moving to the second demo, it's a similar thing. I'll be using the same logic app, and I'll be pushing the data this time to the event hub. And I have written my own console consumer, which kind of streams the data from the event hub that I have created, and how we can display and how we can utilize that data is going to be there in the second demo. And the third demo, so this is about the logic app itself and tracking. Third demo will go a step higher, and will look into the B2B logic apps, especially the EDI, X12 and AS2 capabilities and the connectors, what kind of data that they are tracking, and what options that we are available to view the related data in the OMS. So these are the 3 demos. They are going to be quite hands-on session. It's going to be today, and I'm expecting it everything to span somewhere between 35 to 45 minutes, and followed by a question and answer session that I will be spending a few minutes there. As Mike was telling, this is my first time. If you are not able to understand or want to stop, you please send a note in the chat window. I will be monitoring that, and yeah, so we'll take it from there. Okay, let's not waste much time here then. So let's quickly move to introduction to monitoring offerings in the Azure platform. So the Azure platform, when you see the Azure platform, it has got various monitoring offerings into it. So the first one is, it has to monitor various data from the bare metal infrastructure to the application telemetry is what a cloud service should provide. So that's what the Azure is doing. How it is doing with its 3 different offerings. So the Azure Monitor, wherein you can, it will allow you to visualize the data and route the various data and set up some alertings and set up some automation onto the data that you have tracked. So all that is possible under the Azure Monitoring, and you can see all the resources and the services under the umbrella of the Azure platform are all aligning with the Azure Monitor. So this is very important feature, because when we are talking about the logic apps, it completely makes use of the capability in the Azure Monitor. And then next comes the application insights. The application insights is mainly used for the web applications, wherein you can go web applications and some other application level data as well. You can start tracking under this if you want to know how the users are using your web application, which is the feature which is most used from the various customers, if it is a SaaS-based product or something like that. So all kind of things can be achieved in the application insights. So the next, they have another service called OMS. It's a operation management suite. So kind of it's a under the umbrella of OMS, we have log analytics and log search. all the resources, as we are talking about, if you see Azure as a root, and there are various resources in its branches, and all of them will funnel the data into the OMS. So through the log analytics, they have that option. Once it reaches the log analytics, we can use the log search, and then from there we can visualize the data in the OMS portal itself. So, but for us from today, because we want to talk about the logic gaps, so the main thing that we need to know about is Azure Monitor and log analytics. So if you see the diagram here, what we can see here is that there are three different things on the left hand side. Azure infrastructure side, we have activity logs. Activity logs are like, it was previously called as diagnostic log. Kind of say in the biztalk world, if you go and start and stop orchestrations, remove the artifacts, remove the orchestrations, all these are the audit logs onto the artifacts, right? So the similar kind of thing, the capability is what catered through the activity logs. If you take example of the logic gaps, when the logic gaps are started and stopped, whether you did any writes, whether have you updated the logic gaps, all those kind of capabilities, all these tracking can be done using the activity logs. And then on top of that, we have metrics. Any resource or any resource under the Azure umbrella will emit its own metrics. It's different for different resources, but they have their own set of metrics. To take an example, logic apps, it will emit the number of runs, the billable runs which are happened, and the number of actions which are taken, because all the billing happens through the actions which are executed in the logic apps. So the similar kind of metrics will be emitted and ingested from all the various resources in the Azure platform. So that you can compare. This is metrics. You can compare it with the performance counters. If you see the biztalk performance counters, how the orchestration and how my host is working, and all that various counters which we see in the biztalk performance counters, you can compare that to the metrics here. And so we saw the performance counters in form of metrics. We saw the activity log in the form of the diagnostic logs, and then we moved to the diagnostic logs itself. Diagnostic log is very important. Like when you enable it, it emits the operations, all the operations which are performed within the resources itself. Kind of when a logic app executes, the data, the diagnostic data which you are tracking within the logic app is what tracked through the diagnostics log. You can compare it with your application tracking and tracing and exception blocks and all that. So any error related information, or the tracking data information, or business activity monitoring information, all that you can compare with the diagnostic logs. So you can clearly see there is a similarity. Through the activity logs we get all the audit kind of information, and through the metric logs we get the performance counters, and through the diagnostic log is what we get the track data and the business data. So today our pure focus is going to be on the diagnostic logs. So diagnostic logs, we are still talking at the level of Azure platform. So the diagnostic logs, as I said, they are all the data emitted by the application itself. It may be traces or the logs or any specific business data. So all this data, you have three different options here. They are not either or, they can be used together as well. So you can use the data and you can stream it to the, you can send it to the log analytics. I already showed you three different offerings of the Azure from the Azure for the monitoring. So the OMS logs, you can stream them, we can send them to the OMS log analytics, and then use the log search, and then we can visualize in various visualization tools. It can be Power BI or the OMS portal itself. And what you can do also is we can also send them to the event hubs, and once it gets into the event hubs, you can write our own consumers or the third-party consumers, or it opens up a whole new opportunities and options there, how you use the data which is emitted from your resource. So you can also send it to the Azure storage for archiving purposes, and you can specify the retention time and all that. So this kind of capability is common across all the diagnostic logs in all the resources in the Azure. So it is something which is you can emit, you can export this data to various options, but as is, when you enable the diagnostics log for any resource, you can view them in the Azure portal. You can use them through the PowerShell script or the command line interfaces or the REST APIs, which is pretty standard with the Azure platform. So now we have seen that how these diagnostic logs available in the Azure platform. So the next what we are going to see is how the logic apps are going to be aligning with this Azure Monitor and the diagnostic logs. It's you can see one-to-one relationship. All the tracking abilities which the Azure platform is provided are exactly used by the logic apps. So you can clearly see we have activity logs, metrics, and diagnostic logs. I don't want to spend a lot of time here in this slide. Let's I'll quickly move to the Azure portal and show you how we can see the data for activity logs, metric, and diagnostic logs. And then our main focus is still going to be the diagnostic logs. That's where we can track our business data. So let me quickly switch to the Azure portal. Okay, so I have, for the demo purpose, I have created few logic apps here, and let me make use of one of the logic app, which is BT360 PO process. As soon as you open this blade, you can see that the first thing from the top before the overview is activity log. So this is the place where you will see all the updates happen to the logic apps. If somebody stops the logic app, and if you return anything, or if you have changed the logic app, so then all this data will be available here. So I think there is nothing much for last. Okay, there is quite a lot you can see. So there are some write workflows. You can see the operation called write workflow, validate, activate, resolve, list, callback. These are all the operations related to the activity log. So if you want to view what happened to my logic app, then you can pretty much see them here. So our focus today is not on the activity logs. I just wanted to show you the various data that we can capture in the logic apps. So I'll quickly move on to the next bit, which is the metrics. As I was explaining, any Azure resource is going to emit its own metrics. And if you see, a logic app has got its own metrics list here. So if you read from there, it's action latency, the action success latency, the action throttling events. You can clearly relate them to the performance counters that we used to see. So what you can do is that you can when you click on them, you can view the live data on these matrices, and then you can also add metric alert. So especially since the billing action is one of the important metric, so I'm quickly going to create a alert on billable actions. I just want to set if there are more than 10 runs on this particular logic app, billable runs, then I want to receive an alert. So I'll just give a name, billable runs, and then the metrics. I'll keep my subscription and the filter. So resource group, I'll keep integration Monday. and I need to select the resource itself here. So in this case, the resource is BT360 Prevo process, which is a logic app. So then you will be allowed to choose the metric, and here I'll be selecting the billable trigger execution. So if there are, so as I was explaining, if I can set a threshold, if this is greater than 5, I would like to for over 45 minutes, say, then I would like to notify using the email ID. You can also configure the webhooks. So this is as simple as this. You know, you can see this is all not the capability of the logic app itself. This is the capability which the Azure as a platform provides, and the logic app as a resource using this. You can also take some actions. You know, when this happens, then you can go and start and stop the logic app or various actions that you can take under the take action sections. But still, I would say I just want to rush through this feature. Because here the intention was to show that, you know, this is a different kind of data that logic apps is already capturing, and we'll be using them. But the main focus of this presentation is going to be the business data. So we have seen this, and the alert is already created, and whenever the trigger, the billable triggers count it exceeds the threshold that we have configured, we are going to receive a email alert. So I will leave there, and you can, you know, it provides various options for the metrics. So now we'll quickly move to the diagnostic logs, which is this is very important for the whole discussion for today. So the diagnostic logs, okay, so you need to enable by default the diagnostic logs are not tracked for logic apps here. So you need to, you know, kind of enable that. I quickly have a temporary test logic app. I will show you how I can enable the diagnostic logs. Okay, so as you see, this is a new new logic app I have created. By default, the tracking is not enabled, or the diagnostics information is not enabled. So it clearly shows you a message that turn on the diagnostic to collect the following logs. So currently we need to collect the workflow runtime. So I'll click on to this turn on the diagnostic, which will give us an option to enable the status of the diagnostic settings, and we are prompted with the 3 different options. So the first one is archive to storage account. We can probably send all the diagnostic logs. We'll, you know, in few minutes we'll understand what these diagnostic logs are and how they look like, and what we can do with this. They say now, for now, you say that, you know, these are all the JSON files. We can move them to the storage account. But I will not be focusing on moving them to storage account. What I'll be focusing on will be how we can move them to Event Hub, and from there process into a consumer. And I will also be focusing on how we can you know, send them to the log analytics. So but quickly, if you want to, you know, archive them to a storage account, you kind of need to configure the storage account here. So I already have a storage account called BT360 storage, and I'll save that. And I already told you it's not either or. You can enable all of them, to be honest. You can get the data and push them to all these options available. So if you want to send it to the Event Hub, you can very well do that. I kind of already created a Event Hub. You can say the Event Hub namespace is like Integration Monday namespace under this resource, and it will automatically create a Event Hub. You know. So this is the root managed shared access key. So if you specify the shared access key, it automatically creates a Event Hub. I already created now, so I'll show you, you know, how that can be used in the coming demos. So another option is send to the log analytics. So here you need to create log analytics. As I said, it's all coming under the OMS. I already explained that. For that, you need to create a workspace in the OMS. I kind of already got a OMS workspace here for the temporary OMS workspace, and you can select the OMS workspace. And here it is very important. You need to select what kind of logs. Any logic app will emit the logs with the category workflow runtime. So, and also you can specify the retention date, how long you want that data to be uh, kept in the various storages, so that you can specify. And whether you want to capture the metrics as well and push them to diagnostic logs, it's optional. So I don't want any metric related data to be sent to the log analytics or any of the options that we have seen. So I'll just save this one. So this is how we are going to enable the diagnostic logs under a logic app. So now coming to our main thing. So I just explained you how we can enable the diagnostic logs. So just now we will be moving to our first demo. This is the So now we know how we can enable the diagnostic logs. So now we clearly see in what happens and what kind of data is tracked, and how we can look into the log search and how we can visualize that data in the OMS portal. So I have a logic app called order process, and I will be pushing all the diagnostic logs to log analytics by enabling the diagnostic log settings, which I already showed you. And then obviously once the data starts pumped into the log analytics, we can use the log search in order to query the data. I will show you how we can query the data and for the various visualization, and use those search queries and bring them onto the OMS portal and create a dashboard, a very good looking dashboard for our order process. So that's going to be my first demo. So I have, as I said, I have an order flow. I'll call it as a simple order flow. And for that, I have a JSON file, which looks like this. Uh, so with the PO number and the name and the SKU and the price and the quantity and ship to and the bill to address. And I go to the portal. I have this logic app called BT360 PO process. It's a very simple logic app which takes this order file and puts that into a document DB. So I'm using the document DB connector here. Just wait for it to load. Okay, so as you can see the logic app here, it's just a HTTP trigger which receives this the JSON body, which is an order, and then I have the function agile function. This is very simple agile function because if you want to push the data to the document DB, we need ID. What just agile function is doing, it just it just generates it. So I will not get into how this can be implemented because the scope is not to explain how this is implemented. So currently I want to show you, I have already enabled the diagnostic logs for this. And I want to show how the data flows and what kind of data flows into it. So if you see the diagnostic logs for this particular logic app, as you expect, we need to enable the diagnostic logs, and we should be sending the data to log analytics. So I already have a namespace called integration Monday. So let me push some data here. I'm going to push the data. And you can see that it's Seeing it. Okay, so you can see the date time. It has run successfully. So there are few runs now, and the data has passed. So when you enable a diagnostic log, it is going to the logic app is going to emit data for every action. So there will be as soon as it is trigger, so the trigger start time, trigger end time, and various other data is going to be logged. So how we can view the data? So we need to get into the diagnostic logs. Under the log search, you can see that you can select the OMS namespace that I have created, the integration Monday, and that's going to open the OMS workspace. Under that, you can see various options here, the log search and the OMS portal. Let me open up the log search. Okay, so this is the log search. Now we from using this window, we can search all the diagnostic logs. As I said, different Azure resources emit different kinds of data, and the kind of data that we are looking here is diagnostic data. So if I just press star, it's going to display all the data which is available under the log search now. And you can see there are various different types of data. There are like 234 Azure Diagnostic Alert, 96 Alert, and 30 usage records available. But we are interested in yeah, we are only interested in type Azure Diagnostic. It's kind of case sensitive, so we need to be careful when we are searching. We need to ensure that you can see as soon as you type correctly, the log search will show you, for the type Azure Diagnostics, there are already 287 records. It means it's behind its indexing and everything. So now we have got all the diagnostic logs, which we obviously enabled. So now we need to know all the, but is it what we are looking? It contains everything, all the diagnostic data which is logged into this log analytics. But what we are really interested in, everything which is kind of emitted from the logic apps. So for that we need to say category. So category is equal to, as soon as you press, you will be shown with a few options here, the workflow runtime and the integration account tracking event. So these are the two categories which are very important for the logic apps. So any logic app will emit as soon as you enable the diagnostic logs. It will use the category workflow runtime, and the integration account tracking event is when you enable the tracking diagnostic logs on the integration account itself. So that we will see in our third demo. So for now, we are interested in workflow runtime. So I'm going to set this, and I'm going to filter out. There are around 272. So, but Aru, but I'm specifically interested in the data emitted from my BT360 PO process. So for that, I would say resource group name, and as soon as you give some value, it clearly shows that there are a lot of data for PO process. So this is how you can search the data for, and now it is all the data which is emitted from the logic apps. Let's see how the data looks like first of all. Okay, this is basically all the data emitted from a PO process itself. And what you are seeing here is a list of all the records which are emitted. So you can see the kind of data which is out here. So here the category is workflow runtime, the operation name, the status, the resource group name, so the resource workflow name and all. So one important property that we need to consider here is the correlation client tracking ID. So this is the ID which actually relate all the diagnostic logs emitted from a single run. So there is a flow, there is a ID for the logic app itself, so resource subscription ID and the workflow ID, but there is a run ID which is the client tracking ID, which will be used to track all the events. That's what gives a power to us, and it's going to enlist everything which is emitted in a single row. Let me just filter it based on one of the runs that we have here. So that's called correlation. Okay, correlation underscore client tracking ID. Yeah, this is the one. And I'm going to copy this. This is kind of is going to give you an end-to-end flow of data within the logic app. So you can also view the data in the table format, and you can see that there are around 9 records for this particular run, and it's a lot of data is there, and we don't know what data it is. So you can also apply kind of a sorting and aggregation and all that within the same query here itself. So let me quickly apply on the sorting, and then I will show you how the flow is executed here. So I'll just put a pipe and measure, sort. I want to sort it by, so let me take one field here, which is at the time, start time. Oh, it's copied from something else. Sorry. Okay. Nevertheless, I mean, I kind of wanted to show when you sort it, what happens is, when you have a logic app, I'll just open it in another window because I want to retain that. Okay, so let me search this. Okay, so yeah, don't worry about that, and because the screen is a bit small here, I cannot show that. But see the column called resource here. So there are, as you see, the logic app, it had around 3 shapes, right? The first one was trigger, and you can see the manual there. So these are the something which is the start of the trigger and the end of the trigger. And then as soon as the trigger is completed, the workflow, actual workflow starts. So that's where these IDs, these include the tracking IDs. So those will come into picture. And then, as you know, we have generate order ready Azure function was there, and that kind of that is another action, the start of that action and the end of that action, and the various data which is tracked in that. And we finally we had like update the document and create the document, which we are pushing it to the document DB, and that's where the actual data, the whole JSON file is dumped into the document DB. So every action will have start and the end event. So, well, it has got various details here and all that. That's fine, well and good, because all the data is pumped through the logic apps. But where is my business data? Isn't it? So you received it, and we are seeing a lot of tracking IDs and so on and so forth. We correlated all the tracked information for a single run. That's well and good. But where is my business data? How can I track the business data? So that's something which you can do in the logic app itself. You need to go and edit the logic apps now. This option is not available in the UI. What you have to do is you need to edit the logic app in the editor, code editor. So okay, so let me go to the code view. So you can see here that I have 5 track properties. So any action, you can add a property called track properties, and under that you can specify the various JSON fields which you want to track. So it's something like you have a biztalk orchestration, and then you are using the tracking data, and you are saying that what all the data that you want to track inside it for data to be captured in the BAM. In the similar way, you can specify these track properties and provide the data. It can be done at any action. So here I'm doing it at when I'm dumping it into the document. So I'm doing at the connector, the document DB connector, and I'm providing this tracking properties and specifying them. So I am capturing the name, PO number, price, quantity, and the SKU. So that's it. So now the logic app is ready to now capture all the data. It's already capturing, in fact. So we go to the tracking data here. So we wanted to have a run now so far, but I don't want to track based on the client ID. What I want is that I want to have all the data which is for the PO process, but where I want to select the tracked fields. As soon as you enable the tracking in the diagnostic logs, all the fields are stored as tracked fields. I will quickly show you. Once you start track. So the screen is a bit. Okay, so you can see that the tracked property name, the name is something, is the business data which I tracked there, and you can see the PO number, you can see the quantity here. So I want to select all these fields for me. Let me go and say select track properties name, and I also want to select PO number. So the name is nothing but the customer name, and the quantity. So let me quickly select only these fields. I could have showed with all the fields which are available, but yeah. Okay, let me just grab a saved query which I already had. So I have saved few queries already, just in case I was wondering, if something mismatches out here, which always happen during the demo. Okay, so as I said, you can save the queries. When you create a query, it was listing all of them, and you can save them as well. So I kind of created a saved queries for my order process, and you can see that order process logic app, order by product, and order by customer. So these are some of the queries that I've already created here, and I will show that query here. So it is same, like the query was no different, like we are getting all the data from the logic app, and the tracked property name is taken, and it was it will get into measure now. So, and in that measure what we are doing is that we are grouping the data. So I don't know whether you are able to see. Yeah, I'm creating the measure here out of the data which is queried, and then I'm grouping them based on the value. So what I have here is the customer name. When I query this, what you can see here is the customer name and the total price, and the total sales price from that particular customer. So you can have the table view as well here, and this can be a chart as well. So like this, the business data, it is exactly like the BAM. You can apply the aggregations, you can apply various things that we used to do with the BAM, and it provides other rich functionalities, such as anything which is there in the log analytics. It can be moved to the push to the Power BI as well. So it can be pushed to the Power BI, and it can also be viewed in the OMS portal itself. So what I will do is that now I will show the same thing in the OMS portal. So I will click on the OMS portal, and when it loads, okay, so what you can see here is this OMS portal. It's a home page that I come here, and what you can do is we can save the search there in the log search. You have seen that you can query and save the searches, and you can go to the home of the OMS portal, and this is what you are going to see. And under the log search, again the similar thing you can see under the OMS portal as well. This is, as I said, the log search is part of the OMS. And what I did is that I created a custom dashboard, so order process view, so with all the data that was captured there. And you can see that what I have done here is created the order value by customer, and it shows various customers and their count. So it is, you can edit these things. It provides various options here. It's very simple. I'll quickly put one for the same search, but I'll give different name. Say for example, you need to choose the view, what kind of view that you want to select. For that, let's select the donut and the list view which is available here. So for this, I just need to go and configure it. Give a the name for the group. So I'll just give order process. And the header, the header, I'll give it as the sales value by customer. Just I will name it as 1, so to distinguish between the two donuts. And here is the query. So what you need to do is you need to go to the search and copy that query basically. So whichever you are interested in. So let me just copy the query. So I copied the query here, and I'm exactly going to paste that query. So you can use that query out here, and I'll give all the options and the coloring options same. For the list, you can see there is a donut, and as well as there is a list. So I'll provide the same query, and so then apply. So, and you can see that the data which is already present in my OMS portal. So from this OMS portal, and I will just say save, and come here, and you can see that the data which I created with the sales value by customer is already available. It's so easy. The initiation point is that just to track the data that you required in the logic apps by using the track properties field or record that you need to add there. And as soon as you have that, enable the diagnostics and all the data which is available, and creating the metrics onto the OMS portal is now it's a minute's job here. If you know what you are doing. So once it is done, you can also push the data to the Power BI from here. I kind of you need to do that in the OMS portal settings. So I kind of try to integrate that with the Power BI, but with there is some restriction by using the personal ID, and everything, since I did it with the personal ID, I kind of do not want to go back and undo everything. So that's why I kept it as it is. But yeah, very well, all the data which is captured through the log search can be pushed to the Power BI just by enabling this option here. If you turn it on and provide the space in the Power BI, and it all of a sudden starts pushing the data into your Power BI. So now you have the visualization. You can visualize it in OMS portal as well as, or if you want, you can visualize in the Power BI. So that's how we have tracked the data from end to end. And one more thing I want to tell you is that the tracking ID, so that I told you, so the tracking ID is the one which correlates all the events for a run. That can be changed by, that's kind of client tracking ID, right? So that can be changed by setting a HTTP header. So I'll quickly show that. That's there in my second demo. So that's in the Event Hub demo. So if you see the headers that I'm setting for sending the data, if I'm using this XMS client tracking ID, that if I use this header, so then the tracking ID which is used will use the custom tracking ID that you are going to specify. So that's what that's all about the first demo. So then I quickly want to move to the second demo. So far what we have seen is that we moved the data to the log analytics, and then viewed that in log search and the OMS portal. So here I have the similar order process. I have created a similar logic app. and I called it as let me go to the portal, order process.event hub. So the only difference is that instead of choosing the log analytics, I choose the event hub, and I configured a event hub for in the settings. So it's already there, and it's already running. You can see I can also emit some data from here by changing the tracking IDs. Let me give tracking ID 4 and start sending the data. And let me quickly update some of the fields here, like PO number or something. So what I did is it's kind of sending, it's sending the data obviously to the logic app, but internally the diagnostic is going to the event hub. And what I have is I have a small console application. It will take some time to get the data in the consumer. So this is a console application. I wrote it for acting as a event hub consumer. It's a very simple, web console application. In the event like process event async, what I'm doing is that you need to do everything, all the methods which a consumer does. So it's all the thing is there under the simple event processor. So under the event processor, we have a method called process event async. This is something which is listening to, not listening basically. Yeah, it will listen to the stream which is pushed from the event hub. So we know the format, like we know when the workflow is emitted, it is emitting in a specific format, and that's under the tracking properties we have seen, and we'll go and get all the values under the diagnostic logs. And I clearly want to see whether that event contains this track properties. If that contains, it definitely means that it carries business data. So then I'm going to have the client tracking ID and various data that we have tracked. And this application is running, and you can see that PO number I just changed like 13, 15 and 14, and I changed the tracking ID as well. As you can see in here, I used integration Monday 004 as my client tracking ID, and that's what this log console application is getting here. So this is one consumer, but the options are enormous. You can set up your third party. You can use a third party application, or you can build your own custom portal. So it's all depending upon how your organization is moving towards, and what kind of monitoring strategy that you are getting into your organization. So with this clearly demonstrate that the data can be tracked, and it's very easy to track the business data. Now you don't need to use any APIs or anything into the logic app. Just specify the properties, so the data is available. It's just how you utilize the data. So that was about my second demo. So then I will be moving towards the last demo, which is the B2B order flow. So the B2B order flow, I wanted to know, so far what we have seen is the workflow, the diagnostic data in the category of workflow. So I showed you in the log search, when you press category, when you press the category, especially on my box, I only have integration account and the logic app. So there are two categories: the workflow runtime and integration account tracking events. So far we have seen workflow runtime. This is the data which is tracked in the logic app itself. So the next we'll move on to the integration account tracking events. So if you want to get the integration account tracking events, you need to enable the tracking or the diagnostic logs on the integration account itself. So for this demo, what I have done is that I have created a B2B process. I have a logic app which listens over AS2. This is the body of the EDI message that I have got. And if you see the headers, I have some AS2 properties here, which will make it a AS2 message, and then this will be kind of parsed and then converted into an XML. I'm using the map as well there, and so then push it into so dump the XML file into a into a folder location in the OneDrive. So I'll quickly show that one. here. So this is the BT360 B2B flow is the logic app that I was referring to. And some run has failed, but I will trigger some of them here just to show that this is running now. And okay, I sent an external message over AS2. So you can see here that still there are some. It's running, so let's hope them to complete. Okay, that's fine. So while okay, you can see that the flow is succeeded now. I'll click on one of the flow to show you what it actually doing inside. As I explained, this is again a HTTP receive, and I'm using a AS2 decoder, and it checks whether it needs a MDN or not. If the MDN is expected, if the checkbox is yes, so then it's going to send, if it checks whether the bad message and all that, and then it also checks for the acknowledgements and all that. So it sends an acknowledgement MDN back, so that you can see in the when we post the data. I'll show you the response that we received. So the body, you can see that the MDN headers here, so the AS2 headers, what you have got. So my logic app is sending back the MDNs out here. So the interesting thing is the various data which the logic app returns when you run from the post, and all this client tracking ID, the correlation ID, these are all the important data. So if you want to search that when something happened and when you want to raise an incident, then you can use these IDs so that they can be tracked in the track data wherever we are storing. So here in the process, it just takes the file, it sends the MDN back and converts it into an XML file and dumps it into OneDrive. So for that, for any B2B application to work, I need to create an integration account. So what I have here is so in the filter, I'm going to select this integration account. Let's second. Okay, let me choose the integration account here. Okay, so I have a couple of schemas. The one is XML schema, the other one is the XML schema, and I have a map which converts XML to XML, and I have created a couple of partners in order to receive AS2 and the XML, and I have agreements as well. So but what we had to do to enable the logging is to go and enable the logging on the integration account itself. So I'll go and enable diagnostic log here, and once it is done, it's going to emit the data specific to integration account tracking events. What you can see here is that a log category, so that's very important. I was explaining, so there are two log categories that we need to be aware when we're dealing with the logic apps. So this log category is integration account tracking events. So once you set this, the data is already available, and you can come back to the OMS portal. And in the OMS portal, if you go to the home, I also had log apps B2B messages. So this is the order process view is one which I created. So but log apps B2B messages is something which is built in. You can get it from the marketplace. So when you click on the marketplace button here, there are various solutions available, and one of which is the Logic App B2B. I kind of already have this solution. So the advantage of the OMS is that you can create all your uh, solutions and all your graphs and everything. If you have a structured way of emitting data such as the logic apps, then you can create a solution around it and you can put it in a marketplace. So that's exactly what many of the players are doing it out here. You can see the solutions for Azure SQL Server Analytics and active log analytics, so on and so forth. So any resource that is emitted, you can create a package for that and you can import it here. Since I already have it, I don't need to add. So in the dashboard, if you open the Logic App B2B messages, you can clearly see that the metrics for X12 and AS2. At the moment, this solution, which is already built into the suite, it contains only the X12 and AS2, and going ahead, you can expect more and more features can be added into it, such as the artifact and so on and so forth. So it's a built-in, and you can start getting the various metrics here, and as I said, you can customize it as well. Like if you want to customize and bring various data, this is the search events, and you can see that the Logic App B2B, there are around 6. So you can create your own. These are the searches which they have created, and the data is available. So all the data, you will be really surprised with all the data which is tracked out here for these applications. I will quickly show you the amount of that data that is stored for them. I'll click on one of the metric out here. So you can also view the status of a particular message. See, this is one. It again takes you back to the log search, and you can see from the control ID to the sender identifier, receiver identifier, all that we have seen in the EDI reporting, and much more information is available into the tracking data emitted by the integration account. So that's it. So it is pretty easy, you just need to enable it, and the searching capability, it is just a syntax, how you search the data. They will have their own predefined indexes, and it will be catered to you in a much more efficient way. You can either use the log search APIs, or you can push the data into the Power BI or view that in the OMS portal. It's up to you. But from the objective of the whole session, we are able to successfully track the business data quickly by adding few lines into the Logic app. Then we can send it to any place, to either to the event hubs or to the log search or to the storage, and then from there your applications come in and capture them, and you can put them into a custom portal. Or if you don't want to go for that option, you can use a Power BI or OMS option. So this is the overall picture of what we can do in the Logic apps in terms of tracking the business data out here. So that kind of summarizes everything. So yes, we can track a lot of data here, the business data in the Logic apps, and we can use it as well, and it is pretty easy, and I think it's a way to go. And there is a lot of opportunity for third-party providers wherein they can come up with their own solution. As I was talking about the B2B solution which Microsoft itself has built, there may be opportunities for various providers to go and provide a customized solution for specific targeted solutions. So that's it for the presentation today. The last one is the question and answers. Are there any questions?
Hey Srini, it's Mike dropping back in.
Yeah, hi Mike.
Hey, really good session, mate. I enjoyed that. It was, I think that's going to turn out to be a really useful session for people as they get more and more into Logic apps to do the troubleshooting, and it's quite interesting the way you've created some reports and stuff off the back of that. It's a really good job. Let's have a quick look at the questions. So, if anyone does have questions, pop them in the Q&A window. And so we've got a quick comment from Carlo who said, "Really great session and good demo. I've picked up some good tips, which is always good to hear." He's had to drop off, but he just wanted to say thanks. And he'll catch the rest that he missed on the recording. So nice job there. Just give it a minute or two to see if anyone else pops anything through. So, what's your thoughts on the whole OMS piece then? Because I've kind of played around with that in a few other areas, but I haven't really used it with logic apps so much. Is it something you guys have sort of been exploring at biztalk 360 as a way of kind of getting more out of logic apps, or?
I mean, no, at the moment we are not. I mean, currently looking with the OMS and all, but definitely, yeah, we kind of looking into how we can make it better from the usability point of view. So, but OMS, yes, it's it sits on top of all the resources, as I explained, and gets all the data. And searching was again a little bit difficult, isn't it? Like you need to go and save the searches and all that. So, but as I said, there will be a lot of opportunity for third-party vendors who can come up with their own solutions and put them onto the OMS portal. So that's what I think. That's again, yeah.
It's really interesting with OMS as well because it kind of brings the support operator and the IT pro into your sort of PaaS solution as well, which is good because I mean a lot of the guys will have be familiar with things like Operations Manager and System Center on-prem.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
Kind of brings them into the same ecosystem.
Yeah, that's correct. So for anything they want to query, it will be the same query language. So once they get used to that, I think it's going to be a very powerful tool for them.
I don't think we've got any questions coming in from the looks of it. Still got a few people on the call, so we'll give it another minute, and if nothing comes in, we'll just wrap it up. Okay. So how did you find doing the demos then? Have you been working quite a bit with logic apps? Because I know you've got a big biztalk background. Was logic apps something you've started working in for work reasons, or was it just kind of to learn more about it?
I mean, we are kind of working inside in biztalk 360 as well. We are coming up with a lot of features related to monitoring the logic apps. So, but again, all the demos that I have created here are specifically for the integration Monday because I have a background of working in a lot of EDI implementations, and so that's why it was easy for me to chip in some of the ideas from there.
Good stuff. Okay, so. I haven't got any other questions coming in. I mean, just for anybody still on the call, if anything does pop up later, you can always reach out on Twitter or via the website. Did you share your Twitter details earlier? I remember you put some contact info at the start.
Yeah, I did. Awesome. Yeah.
Great. So, big thanks then for you doing the session tonight. They're really, really good demos and stuff. So, I think it's one of those ones where I think. People will actually regret not being here on the night when they watch the recording because I just think it's one of those ones that are going to become really important over the next few months when people start implementing real-world stuff with logic apps. So thanks everyone for watching tonight. Recording should be available tomorrow. Next week we've got API governance, and just big thanks again for Srini for doing the session and everyone else for joining, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
We'd love to have you do another session again in a couple of months or so if you have time to do another session about something.
Sure, Mike. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Take care.
Definitely. Okay. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thanks. Bye.